So the mother has asked him to be patient. She said, all things shall change in God's transfiguring hour. But Asvapati, in his intense aspiration, pleads with her. He says, it is so difficult. Yeah. And he explains or makes clear to her how difficult it is, especially for aspiring human beings. No? And the end of what we read last time, he said, I know that thy creation cannot fail. He accepts her reassurance that everything will change, but he's asking her to speed it up a little bit. We stopped on page 343 at line 327. A God come down and greater by the fall. And now he's going to tell her how he knows this, how he is so sure that her creation cannot fail and that the new race will come. So I'm going to read about a page and a half, and then we'll go back and look at each sentence in detail. He's had a vision. He tells her about it. A power arose out of my slumber's cell, abandoning the tardy limp of the hours and the inconstant blink of mortal sight. There where the thinker sleeps in too much light and intolerant flames the lone all-witnessing eye. Hearing the word of fate from silence heart in the endless moment of eternity, it saw from timelessness the works of time. Overpast were the leaden formulas of the mind, overpowered the obstacle of mortal space. The unfolding image showed the things to come. A giant dance of Shiva tore the past. There was a thunder as of worlds that fall. Earth was o'errun with fire and the roar of death, clamoring to slay a world his hunger had made. There was a clangor of destruction's wings. The Titan's battle cry was in my ears. Alarm and rumor shook the armored night. I saw the omnipotent's flaming pioneers over the heavenly verge which turns towards life, come crowding down the amber stairs of birth. Forerunners of a divine multitude, out of the paths of the morning star they came into the little room of mortal life. I saw them cross the twilight of an age, the sun-eyed children of a marvelous dawn, the great creators with wide brows of calm, the massive barrier breakers of the world, and wrestlers with destiny in her lists of will. The laborers in the quarries of the gods, the messengers of the incommunicable, the architects of immortality. Into the fallen human sphere they came, faces that wore the immortal's glory still, voices that communed still with the thoughts of God, bodies made beautiful by the Spirit's light, carrying the magic word, the mystic fire, carrying the Dionysian cup of joy, approaching eyes of a diviner man, lips chanting an unknown anthem of the soul, feet echoing in the corridors of time. High priests of wisdom, sweetness, might and bliss, discoverers of beauty's sunlit ways, and swimmers of love's laughing fiery floods, and dancers within rapture's golden doors. Their tread one day shall change the suffering earth and justify the light on nature's face. Although fate lingers in the high beyond, and the work seems vain on which our heart's force was spent, all shall be done for which our pain was born. Even as of old, man came behind the beast, this high divine successor surely shall come behind man's inefficient mortal pace, behind his vain labor, sweat and blood and tears. He shall know what mortal mind barely durst think. He shall do what the heart of the mortal could not dare. So we start from the giant dance of Shiva. Yes. You'll start, Rosa.
A giant dance of Shiva, Throb, went past. There was a flounder as of words with fog. Earth was a labyrinth overwhelmed with fire and the throb of death. Clamoring to slay a world, his hunger had made. There was a
clangor,
destructions winds, the titans, but cry was in my ears.
One more line.
Alone and
Rumor.
Rumor. Shook their armored
Armored.
knight.
Yes. So a giant dance of Shiva. Here in South India we have these amazing images of Shiva dancing, and he's surrounded by a ring of flame, and in his hand he's got the tandava, the drum that is signaling the destruction of the universe. And he's also pointing at his foot, which signifies his liberating grace. So Aswapati is seeing into the future. This is the image of things to come. This giant dance of destruction. And he hears the thunder, the tremendous noise as of collapsing worlds. The thunder as of worlds that fall. The whole earth, he sees it overrun with fire and the roar of death. And that roar, death, the god of death is clamoring, he's eager, wanting to slay, to destroy a world that his hunger had made. It's this image of the eater eating, that there's this destructive principle. This world, that twilight world that Aswapati saw being destroyed, is a world that's been made by the hunger of this destructive principle. He hears the Titans' battle cry. The Titans are these larger than human beings, the Rakshasas and the Asuras. They are fighting this battle of destruction. So there's a lot of noise, alarm, sirens, rumor. Here rumor means noise, sound, shaking the night. The night is armored, it's protected, it's on the defensive, but it's going to be destroyed.
What's his vision? It's not actually happened at the time.
This is his vision. He says, I saw the image, the unfolding image showed the things to come. So Aswapati is way, way back at the very beginning. Sri Aurobindo shows him as the first rishi to have the secret knowledge, the Vedic knowledge. So that's way, way back in the past. He's looking into the future and seeing the destruction of the human world as we know it, and the coming of the new world. That's described in the next sentence.
I saw the omnipotence flaming fireliness over the heavenly verge which turns towards light, come crowding down the anger stairs of birth, forerunners of a divine multitude. Out of the paths of the morning star they came, into the little room of mortal life.
Yes. So these are the forerunners, the pioneers. They are flaming, they are full of light and energy. They are sent by the omnipotent, the all-powerful, and they are being born into the mortal world. He sees them coming down from heaven, over that heavenly verge, the edge which turns towards life. They're coming crowding down the amber stairs of birth. Well, there are stairs that come down. amber is a beautiful golden, warm, golden, reddish, brownish color. So it's perhaps the coming together of the gold of the supermind and the red of the physical. Perhaps Nolini has suggested something like that. These are the forerunners. They're going in front, but they are forerunners of a divine multitude. There are going to be many of them. But what he's seeing are the pioneers. They are coming out of the paths of the morning star. The morning star is that star we can see in the horizon before the dawn. It represents a new power, something new coming. So out of those, they are coming before the dawn. They are entering the darkness of the human world, bringing the new light with them. They came into this little room, a little room of mortal life, the human world that we know. Those great pioneers.
I saw them cross the twilight of an age, the sun-eyed children of a marvelous dawn, the great creators with wide brows of calm, the massive barrier breakers of the world, and wrestlers with destiny in her list of will, the laborers in the quarries of the gods, the messengers of the incommunicable, the architects of immortality.
So it's a morning twilight, or it's the evening twilight of the age that's ending. They are bringing the new light. If we think of that age as being a dark age, then they are bringing the new light, the new dawn. These are children, young spirits. Their eyes are shining, brilliant, like suns. They are bringing that marvelous dawn with them. And they are of different types. Some of them are great creators with wide brows of calm. They have this capacity of bringing new creation. They have the power of vision, calm, wide vision, knowledge. And then there are those who bring the power of will, the massive barrier breakers, the ones who break down all the resistance to bring in something new. And in order to do that, they are wrestlers, they are fighters. They fight with the power of destiny, with what is fixed, with what is difficult to change. Your destiny, it seems, is difficult to change, no? But they are coming and accepting the destiny of the earth, and they are going to change it. So they wrestle with destiny in her lists of will. The list is the area that's marked out for champions to fight each other. Sri Aurobindo uses this word in several places in the poem. So we have those perhaps images from films of we have those images of from the films of knights on horseback, and with long lances riding at each other. That area where they fight is the lists. Or also in the old days, sometimes it used to happen if there were two armies who were more or less equally matched, they would agree to mark out a space between the two armies, and a champion from each side would come and fight, and whichever of them won had won the battle. So that's a lists. So it's as if this area has been marked out where the wills, different wills, can battle it out and find out which will prevail. So the champions of will. And some of them are laborers in the quarries of the gods. A quarry is a place where we cut stone. It's very hard work. So these are strong workers who are cutting through new ways or cutting the beautiful stone to create the new creation. And there are messengers of the incommunicable, the ones who are in touch with that ineffable truth that can't be expressed, but they bring messages into the human world from that realm. And the architects of immortality, these are the ones who are going to have to create the conditions in which humanity can overcome the grip of ignorance and death. Shamala, you'd read?
Into the fallen human sphere they came, faces that wore the immortal's glory still, voices that communed still in the hearts of God, bodies made beautiful by the Spirit's light, carrying the magic word, the mystic fire, carrying the Dionysian cup of joy, approaching eyes of a divine man, lips chanting an unknown anthem of the soul, feet echoing in the corridors of time.
Yes. So these are these beings who are coming, the pioneers. Their faces are shining with the glory of the immortals. Even when they enter into the human world, their faces, when they come into birth, coming down the amber stairs of birth, their faces are still shining, and their voices are still communicating with the thoughts of God. They are bringing these messages. Their bodies are beautiful, made beautiful by the light of the Spirit, glowing with that heavenly light. And they are carrying with them the magic word, the word of creation, the word that changes things. And they are carrying the mystic fire. Sri Aurobindo's written a book called Hymns to the Mystic Fire. It is his translation of the hymns to Agni in the Rig Veda. So Agni is the fire of aspiration and the flame of will. So they are carrying that mystic fire with them. And they are carrying also the Dionysian cup of joy, the intense delight that carries us out of our normal mortal state and brings us in touch with the divine. This intoxicating, amazing rapture of communion with the divine. Dionysian, Dionysus, is the ancient Greek god who brought the wine to humanity, and his rites used to be celebrated by, we would say, drunken orgies, I suppose. But we believe that symbolically it corresponds to Soma, yes. And anyway, it clearly corresponds to Ananda. My mother has given that spiritual significance to the grape, that it is Ananda, divine delight. So then he speaks about the eyes. These eyes which are coming nearer, these are eyes which belong to a diviner humanity, a humanity that is a step closer to the divine state. And it's as if they are, as they come down those amber stairs of birth, they are singing a sacred song, chanting an unknown anthem of the soul. They're bringing something new. That sacred song that they are singing as they come down, it's something new. And their feet, as they come, they are echoing through the corridors of time. It means that the significance of this descent will go on echoing through time, on and on and on and on. Ganga Lakshmi.
Yeah. High priest of wisdom, sweetness, light and bliss, discoverer of beauty, sunlight ways, and swimmers of love, laughing fiery flow, and dancer within rapture golden bows. Their tree one day shall change the suffering earth and justify the light on nature's face.
Yes, thank you. So the priests are the ones who link ordinary humanity to the higher levels. No? These are high priests. They bring wisdom, sweetness, power, and bliss. And they will be discovering, revealing the sunlit ways of beauty, the delightful ways without struggle. There's something in us which responds and is attracted to beauty that makes things easier. And they will be swimming in the laughing, fiery floods of love, intensity and the delight of love, and dancers within those golden doors of rapture. It's also another word for ecstasy, ananda. So that's what they are bringing with them. And their tread, those feet echoing in the corridors of time, those feet when they come down, their tread, he says, one day, he doesn't know when it will be, but one day they will change the suffering earth. And they will justify the light on nature's face. We might often wonder when we see all the suffering and pain and confusion that is in the world, we turn to nature, and in nature we find some kind of solace and comfort, reassurance. So why is that light there? It's there because of this promise of fulfillment in the future. Yuli.
Although faith lingers in the high beyond, and the work seems vain on which our heart force was spent, all shall be done for which our pain was born.
Do you want to go on?
Even as of old men came behind the beast, this high divine successor surely shall come. Behind man's inefficient mortal pace, behind his vain labor, sweat and blood and tears, he shall know what mortal mind barely dares think. He shall do what the heart of the mortal could not bear.
Thank you. So before, he was complaining to the mother that again and again we have to toil and labor. It's all so difficult. Even if we win a victory, we have to win it again and again and again. But now he says, even though the work seems in vain, it seems fruitless and useless, the work on which we have been spending all the strength of our hearts. And even though it takes a long time, although fate lingers, lingering means taking your time, not coming forward, no? In the high beyond, it hasn't come down. Nevertheless, he says, all shall be done for which our pain was born. All, whatever pain and effort we make, it contributes to the coming of this event. Just in the same way as of old, long ago, man came behind the beast, man came behind the animals, no? In the same way, this high divine succession surely shall come. It's sure that the new race will come. Evolution is not finished, no? And that successor to humanity will be a diviner man, more godlike. He will come behind this mortal pace, these slow, inefficient steps that we human beings are taking. It will come behind all this vain labor, seems to be vain, all this sweat and blood and tears. That diviner man, this divine successor, will have a knowledge. He shall know what mortal mind hardly dares to think. We don't, even if we get some glimmer, we think, no, that can't be true. No, that can't be it. And he will have the strength to do what the heart of the mortal could not dare. This durst and dare, they're two different forms of the verb to dare. What mortal mind hardly dares to think, and he should do what the heart of the mortal could not dare. Joel.
Inheritor of the toil of human time, he shall take on him the burden of the gods. All heavenly light shall visit the earth's thoughts. The might of heaven shall fortify earthly hearts. Earth's deeds shall touch the superhuman height. Earth's seeing widen into the infinite.
Thank you. So this divine successor will inherit all the hard work that has been done in human time. And he will also take on himself the burden, the load of responsibility of the gods, the great creative powers of the universe. No? And the gods are not on earth, but this divine successor will be here on the earth in the material world. So, as a result, all that light of the heavens, the higher consciousness, will visit the thoughts of the earth. The earth mind at the moment is the human mind. Then it will be a diviner mind. The might of heaven, the strength of heaven will make earthly hearts stronger than they are now. So then the actions, the deeds done on earth will touch the level of superhumanity, something that now seems superhuman, beyond the reach of human beings. And the power of vision that is available here on earth will widen. It will be able to see into the infinite. Do you like to read?
Every unchanged way, still the imperfect world. The splendid youth of time has passed and failed. Heavy and long are the years our labor counts, and still the seals are firm upon man's soul. And the valley is the ancient mother's heart.
Thank you. So he's seen all that. He says, I'm sure of it. I know that your creation cannot fail. But there doesn't seem to be much sign of it happening soon. No, he says. He looks around him. The imperfect world is still heavy. It's unchanged. No? The glorious youth of time, when everything was young and fresh and full of hope and new energy, that has passed and failed. How heavy and long are the years our labor counts. It's again what he was saying before. We aspire, we toil, we make efforts, but we don't see the results coming. Still, the seals are firm upon man's soul. The soul of humanity has not become free. It is still in the grip of ignorance and death. The seals are there. It's not able to open up and show itself freely. It's hidden behind the veil. And weary is the ancient mother's heart. This is the earth mother, that goddess who has accepted to represent matter and to give birth to this process of evolution. We will see elsewhere in the book that he says that earth is suffering. She's looking for greatness in her sons to carry her further on her journey so that she too can be liberated. Now she's feeling weary, tired. So he appeals to the Supreme Divine Mother. Mihong, you'll read, please.
O truth defended in thy sacred Son, voice of her mighty visions and shut heavens, all things withdrawn within her luminous depths, her wisdom splendor, Mother of the universe, creatrix, the eternal artist bride, linger not long with thy transmuting hand pressed daily on one golden bar of time, as if time dare not open its heart to love.
So he addresses her, he says, you are the truth, and you are defended, you are protected, forbidden in a way. There you are withdrawn in your secret Son. But you are the voice of the mighty musings in shut heavens, on things withdrawn within her luminous depths. It's a bit of a puzzle, no? Who is this her? Is this the ancient mother? Is this the earth who is musing? Is it something? But I'm not sure. Anyway, there it is. He addresses her as wisdom splendor, shining light of wisdom. You're the mother of the universe, the creatrix. It's the feminine form of creator. And you are the artist bride of the eternal. You are his mate. You are the one who is carrying out his will. So he says, please don't linger. Don't wait for any longer with your hand, your transmuting hand, your hand that has the power to change the forms of things completely. It's as if now it's pressed on one golden bar of time. It's keeping things as they are. It's not allowing time to move on to something new. As if time dare not open its heart to God. He's appealing to her to move things along a little bit. Mahalingam.
O radiant fountain of the world's delights, virtue and unattainable allure, O bliss, who ever dwelleth deeply within, while men seek thee outside and never find. Mystery and muse, the hieratic tongue, incarnate the quiet passion of thy force. Mission to earth, some living form of thee.
He says, you are the fountain, the source of all the world, all the delight in the world. But you are free of world. You are beyond world. We can't reach you. There you are above. But in the form of bliss, you're always living, dwelling, hidden deep within everything. That hidden bliss is there, without which nothing could exist. Men are always looking for bliss outside. We think, if this will happen, if that will happen, if I get this, if that, So we don't find that bliss which is hidden deep within things. He says, you are a mystery and a muse. A muse is one who gives inspiration with hieratic tongue, the tongue that can speak a secret language, a sacred language. He says, incarnate, take a body, incarnate the white passion of thy force, white purity, and integral, and passion, intense, the force, the conscious force of the Supreme Mother. It's invincible, unconquerable. But he says, incarnate that and send to earth, mission to earth, send to earth some living form of thee, of yourself. He's
take some living form.
Yes.
Take form.
Yes. A living form of yourself on earth. Take an earthly body. All those pioneers, okay, they'll come in the future. But to help things to move forward, please come yourself. Or some form of yourself. You read Mahalingam? Yeah. Varadarajan.
One moment filled with the eternity, with the infinity in one body give all knowledge that one mind in seas of light, all love, throb, single in one human heart.
So a human life is only a moment, no? But fill that moment with all your eternity and all your infinity in one body. Your all knowledge, let it fill one mind, one human mind. Wrap it in seas of light, oceans of light, and let all love throb single in one human heart. James, you'd like to read?
Immortal, immortal, treading the earth with mortal feet, all heaven's beauty crowd in earthly limbs. Omnipotence girdle with the power of God, movements and moments of immortal will, act with the eternal might, one human hour, and with one gesture change all future time. Let a great word be spoken from the heights, and one great act unlock the doors of faith.
He says, you are immortal, but come and walk on the earth with mortal feet. And crowd all the beauty of heaven in earthly limbs, in an earthly body. You are all powerful. So girdle, it means surround. Actually, a girdle is a belt. Warriors would wear a protective belt, somehow as a symbol of their strength. So he says, girdle with the power of God, movements and moments of a mortal will, a human being who has that power, who is empowered, girdled with that power of God. And then he says, one human hour, 1 hour of human time, pack with all everything that the eternal represents. If that can be done, that hour of God will change the course of the future. It will change all future time. Give the word of command. Let a great word be spoken from the heights. And one great act unlock the doors of fate, those doors that seem to be sealed, closed. Let everything be opened. Let the true destiny of the earth be fulfilled. This seems to need some great act which can't be done from below. It needs the intervention of the very highest power from above. This is what he's been looking for since he began his quest way back in Book 1, Canto 5. No? He had that will to bring the spiritual heights that he'd experienced in trance, to bring those into the human world, to make it normal here on earth. And he's undertaken all that great journey to find the power that can do it. And he's come to the feet of the Supreme Divine Mother, and she's told him no. But it's not time. So it's not time for the fulfillment. He says, all right, I accept. It's not time for the fulfillment, but I know that fulfillment is destined, that your creation cannot fail. It's meant to come. So please send some power of yourself. Embody some power of yourself on earth to open, to break the barriers, to allow that future to come.
So Ashwapati is asking like for the earth, but is he asking also for himself?
Well, now he's asking for the earth. Yes. Yes. And that also takes us right back to the beginning, to the first line of Book 1, Canto 3. It says, a world's desire compelled her mortal birth. That's the first line that we read in Asvapati's story. And that her who is compelled by the desire of the world, embodied and represented by Asvapati, that is Savitri. As a result of all this work and his prayer to the Mother, this allows Savitri to be born. So this is the representation of, we can say, the human aspiration. Yes. In Sri Aurobindo's symbol we have the aspiration calling from below, and we have the response that comes from above. He says these two alone in their conjunction can achieve the great thing that is needed. So Asvapati represents this upward pointing triangle, and the descent of the Divine Mother in the person of Savitri represents the response, and through that response then the possibility of a better future, a diviner future for earth is opened up. That's the significance that Sri Aurobindo has given to this traditional story, which doesn't seem to have had that significance in its traditional form, but Sri Aurobindo felt that the traditional form, which is known all over India, was a memory of a great symbolic myth from the Vedic times, that Savitri represents the word of creation. She's the daughter of the sun. She comes to rescue the human soul from the grip of ignorance and death. So Asvapati's mission is only partially fulfilled, but it's completed by Savitri's mission. It's the second part. A giant dance of Shiva tore the past. There was a thunder as of worlds that fall. Earth was o'errun with fire, and the roar of death clamouring to slay a world his hunger had made. There was a clangour of destruction's wings. The Titan's battle cry was in my ears. Alarm and rumour shook the armoured night. I saw the Omnipotent's flaming pioneers over the heavenly verge which turns towards life, come crowding down the amber stairs of birth, forerunners of a divine multitude. Out of the paths of the morning star they came, into the little room of mortal life. I saw them cross the twilight of an age, the sun-eyed children of a marvelous dawn. The great creators with wide brows of calm, the massive barrier breakers of the world, and wrestlers with destiny in her lists of will, the labourers in the quarries of the gods, the messengers of the incommunicable, the architects of immortality. Into the fallen human sphere they came, faces that wore the immortal's glory still, voices that communed still with the thoughts of God, bodies made beautiful by the Spirit's light, carrying the magic word, the mystic fire, carrying the Dionysian cup of joy. Approaching eyes of a diviner man, lips chanting an unknown anthem of the soul, feet echoing in the corridors of time. High priests of wisdom, sweetness, might and bliss, discoverers of beauty's sunlit ways, and swimmers of love's laughing fiery floods, and dancers within rapture's golden doors. Their tread one day shall change the suffering earth and justify the light on nature's face. Although fate lingers in the high beyond, and the work seems vain on which our heart's force was spent, all shall be done for which our pain was borne. Even as of old man came behind the beast, this high divine successor surely shall come behind man's inefficient mortal base, behind his vain labour, sweat and blood and tears. He shall know what mortal mind barely durst think. He shall do what the heart of the mortal could not dare. Inheritor of the toil of human time, he shall take on him the burden of the gods. All heavenly light shall visit the earth's thoughts, The might of heaven shall fortify earthly hearts. Earth's deeds shall touch the superhuman's height. Earth's seeing widen into the infinite. Heavy, unchanged, weighs still the imperfect world. The splendid youth of time has passed and failed. Heavy and long are the years our labour counts, and still the seals are firm upon man's soul, and weary is the ancient mother's heart. O truth, defended in thy secret Son, voice of her mighty musings in shut heavens, on things withdrawn within her luminous depths. O wisdom's splendor, Mother of the universe, Creatrix, the Eternal's artist bride, linger not long with thy transmuting hand pressed vainly on one golden bar of time, as if time dare not open its heart to God. O radiant fountain of the world's delight, world free and unattainable above. O bliss, who ever dwellst deep hid within, while men seek thee outside and never find. Mystery and muse with hieratic tongue, incarnate the white passion of thy force, mission to earth some living form of thee. One moment fill with thy eternity. Let thy infinity in one body live. All knowledge wrap one mind in seas of light. All love throb single in one human heart. Immortal, treading the earth with mortal feet, all heaven's beauty crowd in earthly limbs. Omnipotence, girdle with the power of God, movements and moments of a mortal will. Pack with the eternal might one human hour, and with one gesture change all future time. Let a great word be spoken from the heights, and one great act unlock the doors of faith.